Welcome into the Sports Buffoons podcast. Once again to the Sports Buffoon Studios here out of Lenexa, Kansas, of course. And Tanner's shaking his head once again. He starts every show like this. I don't know what his problem is, but
I start every show like this. Back in the day, I used to start every show like this.
Yeah, I remember that. Tanner just gets mad about the microphone muting thing, and so
you're starting mid intro before anybody even can hear you.
Tanner,
sounds like a personal.
Maybe
problem.
that intro should have like a fade out process in the intro, so it fades out better instead of just all of a sudden cuts off. That would make more sense.
Go tell that to StreamYard. So they keep making improvements.
You can make a fade out intro. I made one back in the day that got thrown away.
Can't do it on StreamYard.
Are you sitting
Doesn't
out
work like that.
Tanner, what do you got going on there with your wardrobe? Are you wearing a jacket? It looks like you're sitting outside. You getting ready to smoke a stogie or something like that?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Well, he likes to sit in dark rooms a lot. I've noticed that over time. He likes to turn off all the lights. You could barely see him.
Oh, he's drinking his wine, dude. He just took a sip of his wine.
He likes a close up of his face too, so you can't see what's going on underneath. I don't know sometimes if he's fully clothed. That's one thing to keep in mind.
That's actually healthy. I don't know if you guys believe in that, but they say if you drink a glass of wine every single night before you go to bed, you'll live to be like 95 or 100 years old.
That's an alcoholic's belief. But, it's a fun little story. People also say beer is good for you after a workout, but they're all full of shit. So I'll tell you this: zero alcohol is better for you than any alcohol. So it's all nonsense, fugazi nonsense is what it is.
I don't believe in that, but that's a story for another day.
We'll have a debate one day on the show, kind of like Kelce versus Gonzalez. We'll have a debate about that eventually. So I'll bring all my data. You could bring yours, and we'll go from there. So,
anyways, boys, what y'all drinking on today?
Oh, today I just got a little bit of a Jack and Coke Zero. Nothing too crazy, just kind of a simple one for me today. Looks like you guys having fun over there, I'd say.
Yeah, I got the Wonder Water. That's Simbu Strawberry Wonder Water.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, that's real good and healthy. So
I haven't drank in like
that?
Something like that.
What is that?
Well, he's been the sober one on the show every time.
I know Tanner hasn't drank in 6 months. Actually, he just disappeared.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder who's the producer of this show. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Do you guys see that? You see that?
Whoever it is, they're getting fired like the water boy here pretty soon.
Oh, Jesus. All right, guys. Well, Tanner, I'm guessing you got something more fun than what he was mentioning.
Yeah, I got my Forester. We're good.
All right. Sounds good. You got a little trip tomorrow, it sounds like. So we're going to try to keep this show, fairly short, I would say, compared to usual. So that is the plan. But, obviously this show is going to be a little bit of a few different things, obviously. We're going to talk about the Chiefs for a bit, talk about kind of the future, what we're seeing for not just the team, but some Travis Kelce and some of the things we heard him say this week. And, of course, then we'll have our easy money picks. So we'll have all kinds of good little stuff. But pretty soon, guys, we'll be just talking NFL for a bit because once the regular season's over, we're just going to be talking NFL playoffs. And so we haven't done a whole lot of discussion about other teams around the league throughout this year. So it'll be kind of...
I was kind of thinking that too. Since we started this podcast, we've never really had to discuss their teams.
Well, we don't have time, Tanner. We don't have time to sit there and go over all these other teams in detail. Kind of like
no. What I'm saying is the Chiefs have been involved since we've been a podcast that we never had to actually focus on other teams.
Well, no, not in the playoffs. Obviously.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, first time.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point, Tanner. That's actually the best point that you've made in the last 3 to 4 weeks of doing this show. That was a really good point, man. Thank you for bringing your A game today. I appreciate you.
All right, so let's kick it off with what everyone's kind of thinking right now. Everyone's trying to read between the lines on Travis Kelce's New Heights podcast. And there was one comment in particular everyone's kind of stuck in their mind whenever he was discussing just what it means to be a football player, what it means to play in the NFL. And then also talking about Patrick Mahomes and what he thinks and how long he's going to be out, and what he's going to do to work to get back as quick as possible. But the key was throughout this process of this conversation he was having with his brother Jason, he continued to use the word "the Chiefs," as in, hopefully the Chiefs can get him back in time for week 1, and things like that. He was basically the word usage is something people are looking into pretty deeply compared to saying we hope we can get Patrick back for week 1.
I don't normally listen to his stuff. Does he normally say we? I feel like this is something we're just over analyzing.
Yeah, no. Travis usually will speak in that way where he, referring to the team, he says we when referring to the Chiefs. This time in particular, he said the Chiefs, kind of in a separated kind of a statement with his discussion when it comes to Patrick and then the future of the team. So is that something you guys think we're looking too much into? Are we trying to find something out of nothing? Or is he just trying to give us the hidden message? Because Taylor Swift is one to do this in a lot of her music. And so she's always putting in little subliminal messages here and there and trying to find the hidden gems, as she calls it, or hidden eggs, whatever you want to call it. So is Travis now doing the same thing here on his podcast, is kind of letting people know through his word choices?
I think we're looking too deep into it, guys. I just think way too deep into it. Let's relax, okay?
But do you think Travis does come back next year or no?
No.
So no. So you're saying if he doesn't come back, we could still look back at this in hindsight and say, see, he was trying to use that as a kind of a hidden message.
Sure. If you really want to. I don't. It's.
Tanner,
I'm not particularly over it. I'm not analyzing that. Like it sounds dumb to me.
People on the radio were analyzing it. People on Twitter, Facebook, all those.
Oh, I saw the Twitter stuff, and I'm like, oh God, here we go. Here we go.
It's a fun cesspool of idiots, and I like to be a part of it every once in a while. So go ahead, Jason. What do you think?
Well, so Tanner, before I give you the correct answer to the question, you're saying that Travis Kelce is going to retire, or is he going to play for a different team next year?
Retire. He's not ever going to play for another team. So if he doesn't come back to us, he retires.
Okay. Yeah. As much as I want to disagree with you, which is like on a weekly basis, I just can't do it, man.
That's every show.
Age 36 for a tight end, man, that's nothing, for any other tight end in the league. But when you've played like multiple extra seasons, the way that Kelce has, making the playoffs every year, hosting the AFC Championship almost every year, it's just he's basically cooked, because it's almost like he reminds me a lot of LeBron James on the point that he's played all these extra games, so it's like,
I think it's 21 extra games over the past 5 years.
When was Travis Kelce drafted?
Drafted in 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
but I mean,
the last time the Chiefs didn't make the playoffs was 2014. So that means all but 1 year.
Yeah.
It means it's time to hang it up for him. And we've seen tight ends play a lot older than age 36, but I think with the mileage, that's what comes into play here. And so, like, the age 36 thing doesn't mean the number doesn't mean anything to me, but
to your point,
he's cooked.
Think about Mercedes Lewis, who's 40 years old, who has hardly ever played in the playoffs in his career. Right. He's been able to still stick around. Now, he's slow, but he's tall. He's a good red zone guy. But Mercedes Lewis has been in the league forever now, but he's never played in the playoffs the amount of time that Travis Kelce has. So that wear and tear on the body is a little different.
They might actually be the same age, if you want to know the truth, like in terms of football and then mileage, the wear and tear, all that stuff. They might be actually the same age right now.
Even that wouldn't be the same, because they got the volume and usage of Travis compared to Mercedes Lewis.
Oh, you think he's older than Mercedes Lewis, like in terms
as far as
mileage.
think about WWE, there's a thing called a bump card. Everyone has a bump card in their career where you can take so many bumps basically before you just got to let it go, and you can't take those same bumps anymore. Travis's bump card has already been maxed out, and so Mercedes Lewis, who was a lifelong kind of a mid-range tight end at best. Huh?
He's a blocker. He's a blocker.
He's a blocking tight end.
Is a blocker.
He probably caught 30 passes a year, 30 to 40 passes a year, something like that for the most part on average. And so, for him, he hasn't taken the beating that Travis Kelce's taken in his career. So when you're talking about actual touches and volume of plays you're involved in, Travis is older than Mercedes Lewis in that way.
Yeah, I feel like the pass catchers on this team this year, they had a culture of dropping passes. And I don't know whose fault that is. I don't know if it's the fact that Travis Kelce can drop passes, so now the other guys don't give a damn. I don't know if
can we take Worthy out of this situation?
I don't know if it's the fact that Eric Bieniemy's not here.
Will you take Worthy out of the situation, please? Worthy does not belong in that conversation.
Hold on. Tanner, what are you saying again?
Worthy, you said the offense in general has a dropped pass problem. Worthy doesn't have that problem. That belongs to Tyquan Thornton, Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce. You can put Hollywood in there as well. Juju doesn't.
That's fine, but I'm just saying, as a team, who do you put the onus on? Because I'm sitting here looking at the fact that we don't have Eric Bieniemy anymore, who was a guy that could hold guys accountable, and now we don't have anybody on the team. There's no coach. There's no player. Mahomes, nobody's holding anybody accountable for this shit. So, do we put the onus on Travis Kelce because he's dropping passes and that gives everybody else the belief that it's okay for me to drop passes too? I mean, it just seems like it's a bad culture right now for the receiving core.
Yeah, I don't know. Drop passes it has a lot to do with concentration. It has a lot to do with where your head's at in the game. A lot of it also has to do, in Kelce's way, as you get older, your hands are not going to be able to be used the same way. It doesn't work that way anymore. And so it's harder for a guy like him to, I think, his hands over time have been beat up a little bit.
But I just think that it bleeds into the rest of the team. Like what you're saying, if you're saying that he's a little bit washed and he's dropping passes, it's hard for a guy like Kelce to hold the rest of the team to a certain extent of accountability.
I put Rice up there with Kelce.
Yeah, it's an individual thing when it comes to drop passes. To me,
it is.
I don't think it's anything to do with a team chemistry thing or anything like that. When it comes to drop passes, I just think it's an individual aspect that someone has to figure out for that to get fixed. So, and that's just my opinion on that. But
yeah, look at CD. He had that one game where he dropped 2, game-winning passes essentially, right? And he was in the gym the next morning with the machine, right? Just catching balls, trying to figure out. We haven't heard of CD dropping balls since then, like that kind of measurement. So it is individual.
Yeah, I think so. But anyways, the main question, Jason, do you look into what I was referring to begin this topic about Travis Kelce using the words of the Chiefs rather than we when discussing Mahomes and the future of the team?
Not really. I don't care, man.
Okay.
He's washed. That was my whole point of this segment, is that he's washed. I don't really care if he thinks it's, I don't care about his words.
So you don't think he could, get a remember before the last couple of weeks, he was the number 2 tight end in the league in yards and catches. And you don't think, if he wouldn't have come back on a $5 million deal for 1 year, it'd be worth it to have him on the team again?
I don't see it, man. I just don't see it. I think we got to turn this team upside down. I think we got to.
He still is number 2. He's tied up with Kyle Pitts in yards.
Okay, so he's ahead of Kyle Pitts. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think it's
but be behind McBride because McBride's far away number 1 right now.
McBride, yeah. McBride's up to over 1,000.
So, my point is, we can sit here and say he's washed. Is he as good as his former self? Of course not. But in the comparison to the rest of the average tight end in the NFL, to me, if he wanted to come back for 1 more year, I'd be happy with it. I'm not going to be mad about that. I still think that he can have some value just in a much more reduced role, and especially if you're only going to pay him $5 million for the season or something along those lines. He's not coming back for money, guys.
Yeah, even his catch percentage right now, is pretty squared with the rest of the tight ends. It's at 72, just short of 73%. McBride's at 75, Pitt's 75, Warren's at 70. You got Schultz at 75, Bowers at 72. So, like, the only guy that's really high above everybody else is Kincaid and Jake Ferguson, and they're 11th and 14th. So you're really looking from a catch percentage. He's not necessarily, he's dropping balls that are key for momentum drives that are really drive killers. But from a stat standpoint, he's not having a bad year for 36.
No. Yeah.
I think this year, in a lot of ways, has been better than last year. I felt like last year he looked slow and old as hell last year. This year, he just looks like he's moving a little better than he was the year before. The drop passes is what it is. I don't know what to say about that, but otherwise, I think he's doing okay for his age and compared to the rest of the league.
Yeah, I think we can all, or I will agree to disagree on this one. I think I'm just done with him, man. The whole team needs to move on, and we have a lot of positions to fix. Some would say that we need to start over from scratch and just keep Mahomes and get rid of everybody else. Whatever you think the answer is, I don't think Travis Kelce is a part of that answer. And if we come back next year with Kelce and Andy Reid and Mahomes, I don't think that's the answer, man. If you want to make a deep playoff run.
All right, so then let's kind of go back for a minute back to last week. I'm in that do or die game with the Chargers, and obviously the big impact of the day was Mahomes tearing his ACL. Then the next day, immediately got a surgery on the ACL and LCL as well, by apparently the LCL specialist down there in Dallas, Texas. And right away, I feel like it's a lot of positive news, and the team feels like he could be back in 9 months, which will put him pretty much right in line for week 1 of the next season. We've seen guys return from ACLs like no big deal before in the NFL. I mean, Adrian Peterson was one that tore his ACL a few years ago. I should say over a decade now. And then came back the next year to rush for 2,000 yards and won the MVP. And so, I mean, to me, it's one of those things, luckily, in today's age, that a torn ACL is not the end of the world. And it wasn't completely destroyed. It wasn't the meniscus and the MCL and everything else along with it. It was just the ACL and LCL. And I feel pretty confident that he's going to be playing the vast majority of next season, if not the entire season. But there's a lot of people out there that think to themselves that he's going to miss a good portion of time. Robert Griffin III, who's torn his ACL, has mentioned in a post recently that he thinks Mahomes should sit out all of next year, basically.
Micah. Yeah, I'm in Micah.
Which I think that's kind of crazy. I don't think that's necessary. I think it's a little overboard. Now, when you come back, wear a knee brace. Tom Brady did. There's nothing wrong with that. So what? You lose some of your mobility. Well, Patrick, now you can work on something. You can work on trust in your pocket, trust in the line a little more. And we're going to get you a running back that you can throw and check down to when you need a escape plan rather than having to bail out every time. At least that's what I would be thinking in my mind. But I'm not Brett Veach. Brett Veach has to be the one to make those calls. So as far as Mahomes goes, guys, what do you think going into the offseason and next year? What are your current feelings? Do you think that there is a good chance that Mahomes comes back and plays week 1?
I think absolutely he's going to play week 1. The fact that they're not going to have to go in there again and do a second surgery means that, you're absolutely ready for week 1. The larger issue here is you guys brought up Tom Brady and the fact that, he tore his ACL at some point in his career. But Mike, you and I talk occasionally about Andrew Luck, and the knee itself, what Mahomes is dealing with right now with that torn ACL, that's the least of the problems right now. The bigger issue is moving forward. How are the Chiefs going to handle this injury? In my mind, you've got one of two directions you can go. There's no middle ground here. You can go the Tom Brady route, which is, as an organization, we will have an offensive line that will protect him for the rest of his career. Or you can go the Andrew Luck direction, which is that we don't give a shit. Mahomes is good enough. He can just as long as we have Mahomes, we can win. We don't have to build a team around him. We don't have to have a line to protect him. We can just kind of do whatever the hell we want, and God forbid we ruin his whole career. So that's the bigger issue for me. It's not the ACL. It's what are we going to do in the future? It's like I said, man, like, I don't know which way they're going to go. I would hope that they're going to go the Tom Brady route, which is to say, okay, we don't actually want this to happen ever again. We're going to build an offensive line around him to protect him for the next 10 to 15 years.
What more do you want them to do?
Yeah, I feel like the offensive line right now
what do you want to do the line, dude?
That with for a long time.
I mean, they got rid of Joe Tooney.
Right.
Does that make an impact? If you would have had,
but you brought in a rookie left tackle that has been.
If you would have had Joe Tooney in the game, I mean, or any of these games, it could have been a different.
It doesn't prevent it.
That's fine, but I mean, what are we going to do going forward? Like, you can't just do a patchwork offensive line and we'll be okay with it for a couple of years and then be shitty for a couple of years. Like, you have to protect.
What are you talking about?
You have to protect.
What are you talking about, Jason? I don't know what you're saying.
I know you don't, Tanner. You typically don't have an idea of what the hell I'm talking about. I'm telling you.
No, I don't. Half the time I'm still trying to figure it out.
The Chiefs understand. Have to focus on protecting the quarterback.
You have Creed.
Do you disagree with that? Do you not want to? Do you just want to let Mahomes run around? Do you want Mahomes to just not find the open wide receiver and have to run for his life on every freaking play? Because if that's your opinion, we can go that route, and you can see how that turns out, bro.
I'm just really
confused
where the hole is.
Ruin his whole career, man.
Maybe left guard. Kingsley has played really great this year.
He had a great progression this year. He was one of the few players. I guess you hate the right tackle. I realize this. Well, Jawan Taylor is going to be gone this offseason.
Why did you even bring up that name? That's a stupid name to bring up.
But he wasn't bad. The guy, he wasn't bad.
Not only does he not protect, he just gets a penalty on every other play. Like, what? Why are we even talking about that guy?
I mean, he's going to be gone.
That's overblown too. Yeah, he's going to be gone. Then you bring Jalen Moore.
Yeah, I think that everybody has this mentality. It's just like, oh, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. And then, he gets injured inevitably, and then nobody gives a shit. Apparently, I'm the only one on the show.
But you're not telling us what we need to do with the O-line. That's what I need to know. What do you want to do with the O-line? What needs to be better on the O-line?
Like, protect him. Protect the quarterback.
That doesn't do nothing for me.
Did he not?
I need position names.
Like, has he not been running for his life? Did you not watch the Super Bowl?
He's played with 3 injured starting offensive linemen for the last 3 weeks.
Have you not watched both of the Super Bowls that he lost? Did he not run for his life? Do you not think that wears down like the joints on your body? He loves it, dude.
You're talking about the Buccaneers Super Bowl.
Tanner loves it when the receivers.
Jason,
Tanner loves it when the receivers get no separation. They can't get open.
You brought up
and then
the
he
Buccaneers
runs
Super Bowl.
Tanner thinks that's the best thing in the world because Mahomes will get a first. You know what? Mahomes will get a first down. Inevitably, he'll use his legs to get the first down. Everybody freaking loves it, dude. Yeah, why wouldn't I love it? I love to watch that shit, man. It's fun. It's fun to watch it until he blows his knee out of his ass. I had fun watching that shit all year. I'm not going to lie, man. Mahomes is amazing, dude. Running for those freaking first downs when his bum receivers can't get open. I love watching that shit, man.
All right. Well, so maybe a quick different topic. So what would be in the offseason number one thing you would want to attack to help fix this team to get it back on track? What's the biggest flaw? Where would you do to start off to fix? You don't need to go into details on players or draft picks necessarily, but position, maybe coaching. Maybe you do something different in the coaching department. So what would be the first thing you guys would do in the offseason?
I'm not going to touch coaching, man. You're the expert, Mike. I'm going to leave that to you. I've already given you guys my 2 cents in the last multiple weeks. I'm sure Tanner doesn't want to hear that ever again in terms of coaching. I'm going to tell you what I care about right now. I want to be able to run the ball and protect the quarterback. and I want to fix the trenches. Whatever happens with the wide receivers, I honestly don't care. We have a good receiver core right now. I like my receivers. I don't care about the secondary. If you can just fix what's going on in the trenches, which is get to the quarterback, give me a defensive line that can actually pressure the quarterback, and then give me an offensive
agree on that.
That can produce like, give me a mediocre. Can I get a mediocre running game? If you can just fix the trenches, fix my trenches. That's all I care about. I don't give a shit about the secondary. I don't give a shit about the receivers. I don't even care if you draft another tight end. If you want to try to, replace Kelce, my pass catchers are fine. I don't care about the secondary. Fix what's going on in the trenches, because that's what wins football games in the NFL.
Yeah, well, Tanner, what do you think? All you're over there picking your nose. You did this again. You did this last week too.
Well, he's drinking that. He's drinking wine. Like, he's getting ready to go to bed. He had that one glass. This is what Tanner.
He did this last week. What the freaking hell?
It doesn't mean I got runny nose. I don't want to sit in there just spilling out.
My advice. Like, he literally thinks he's going to live to be 100 if he just has a glass of wine to drink before he goes to sleep every night.
I'm not drinking.
Hey, more
wine.
power to you, bro. But what do you think about these Chiefs right now? That's what I want.
Oh God.
Well, I think the O-line's fine. I think the DN spot, the defensive tackle, defensive ends is where you need to focus on this year, and get some damn get some damn people that can execute. When I say execute, I don't mean chase the quarterback. I mean tackle the quarterback, make the behind the line tackles. Right. Still need a run game stuffer. Nick Bolton and Leo Chenal can only do it for so long. So
yeah, this team needs
the D-line needs something.
Because, Tanner, we've all seen the stats on the pressure rate this year between Karlaftis and Chris Jones. I don't want guys they're going to be chasing you. I want guys that are finishers.
I don't want chasing quarterbacks. No.
Like, I want guys that actually finish the play with that tackle for loss or with that sack. Getting pressure is fun and all, but whenever you're getting pressure from one side, the other side has nothing going on for it, allowing that quarterback to bail out, then who cares? That pressure is irrelevant. You need to have the issue on both sides that can complement each other.
Correct. Well, you have to have the DNs on both sides, but you need at least somebody solid down the middle to create that same kind of pressure.
And Chris
Jones was the only one that could create that kind of pressure.
Well, yeah.
That's all we had.
When Chris is on the sideline taking a play off, the rest of the D tackles on this team suck ass. All of them do. I'm serious. They're horrible. Awful. And so, Chris Jones is obviously going to be a year older. Who knows? He could be traded, or whatever this offseason. But we got to have some more youth come in and hungry players that actually care about wanting to get that next contract and have enough athletic ability to win a one-on-one matchup. That would help Chris a lot too. And Chris,
it would. He literally has to be the guy every play. He has to be the guy.
We've been critical of Chris throughout this year because it's an effort issue on a lot of plays. But he is getting double teams a lot. The center and the guard are take him out of plays a lot of times. If you can get somebody next to him that can help take some of that attention away, it's going to get him back on one-on-one situations, which would be huge for him. And so, that's why the Chiefs can't get pressure without blitzing. That's why every sack we do get, it seems like, has to come from a linebacker blitz or a nickel coming off the edge. And it's never just based on a natural play, rushing forward. It doesn't work that way with this team. So, but the worst part of it, we've been drafting DNs since the day that Brett Veach got here.
We also been going to get vets like Frank Clark and Charles Omenihu, and that hasn't paid off either.
Yeah, and Frank Clark was okay, especially in the playoffs. He made a few good plays.
He's a smart player. That was the best.
Frank Clark was a lot better than Charles Omenihu's been on this team.
Yeah,
Omenihu can go away as far as I'm concerned at this point. Ashton Gelati, I think, still has a great future with this team, so I still have some positive hopes for him in the future. But in Karlaftis, I still think he's one of those players that needs to have someone opposite of him that can help him thrive. If he's the only one that can get pressure, it's not going to work. He needs to have someone on the other end that can help force the quarterback back into his area, because otherwise he's not going to get the job done on his own. So there's a lot to work on with the D-line this year, and that's something that I think should be one of the top priorities, is figuring out a way to get fixed. Unfortunately, Brett Veach, they keep drafting bums. You draft FAU. We talked about Kane Doe the other day being, not working out.
Rounder. Yeah.
just annoying. It seems like every time we draft a D lineman of any kind, Omar Norman Lott. We were at training camp earlier this year, Jason, and you asked me while we're standing there, who do you think out of this draft class is going to be the possible bust? And I didn't want to answer you right then, but I did. I kind of mumbled it. I said,
I'm going to ask you that same question next year, too.
I said, if I had to pick one guy, it's going to be Omar Norman Lott. And he was standing right in front of us. And so I said, Omar Norman Lott would be my pick for the biggest bust potential in this draft class. And, the injury bug has been a thing in his career and still seems to be the case. So I don't have a lot of high hopes for him. And he was a second-round pick. I'm tired of Brett Veach drafting guys who are failing at this level. And that's where it starts for me. And then the next thing in line for me, as far as in the offseason, guys, so we have to make an adjustment for the coaching staff. Without a doubt, the offensive personnel and the coaching staff needs to be mixed up. I want Matt Nagy to go away. I want Todd Peakston to get out of here. I want Connor Embry to go away. All those guys that, to me, are not bringing a positive impact to their position group. Matt Nagy, since the day he's been here as OC, this offense has gotten worse and worse and worse as time gone on. Connor Embry has never improved the receiving group on this team. Why is he here? I don't know. He was a coach at Blue Valley. Coach at KU as well. It's just like I don't understand the point of that guy being on the staff. And then Todd Pinkston, who played for the Eagles with Andy Reid as a wide receiver, is the running backs coach. None of it makes any sense. And so these are guys who, if you look at their position groups, should have been fired a long time ago because they're not meeting the expectation. They're not meeting at least the quota, the bare minimum of what we should be getting out of our position groups at those respective spots. So those guys need to go. We need to get a fresh face in there to help Andy Reid get some creativity back in his mind. Because this year, the creativity was out the window, man. I mean, it was just running the same old concepts, game after game. And you could just tell there wasn't a whole lot of thought put into it compared to previous years. And I've seen Andy Reid come out with great creative play calls and try to keep teams off balance with misdirection. And that wasn't the case this year. And last thing I'll set on real quick, the running backs as a group need to be changed up. I want to see fresh faces across the board. Brashard Smith obviously is going to hang around because he was a rookie this year, but I don't really have a lot of faith in him, honestly. I really don't. I want to see legitimate running backs come in here to replace Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco, guys that can come in and have breakaway potential. The Chiefs are one of the worst teams in NFL history in run breakaway threat of any kind. And that's not something I'm just exaggerating about. There's actually statistics to back this up. And it's pretty sad that, we cannot have a run of over 20 yards. It just doesn't happen for this team. And so those are my key points that I would look at in the offseason. And hopefully this team can attack and fix those things because, man, it's going to keep piling up. Then the more you put things off, man, the more problems you're going to have down the road. So, Tanner, what do you got to say about this one?
I agree with the running back room for sure. I think the coaches need to go. I think you need fresh faces on those positions that we struggle at. You have some big names, right? Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, Juju out there, and just not much was executed, right? So, but yeah, the running back position, we get somebody legit, right, coming into play that can be a full 3-down running back consistently, catch a ball, receiving as well. Have a couple guys like that. That fixes Jason's O-line comments that he's talking about. Yeah. That fixes where Mahomes, has to scramble and be the lead rusher. That fixes that part where he can stay protected. That takes care of what Jason's talking about from an O-line standpoint, is having a running back like that. That's where we've struggled, is we don't have a guy that can be threatened with a run. You can't threaten the run. Kareem Hunt, the guy will put his body in the play every single time, but it's only 5 yards, right? 5-10 yards. So you don't have a threat there in running back, and that causes what Jason's trying to talk about with the O-line and the protection play. So I agree on the running back. Let's get some guy. Let's get a couple guys out there that could cause a threat into both the running aspect, but also the receiving aspect in a play. So that's my comment there.
Yeah, the only other thing I would add in terms of what you guys are talking about in terms of the coaching is that I think there's really only one question that we should be asking right now, is that has the game passed Andy by at age 68 or whatever the heck he is? And that's old, bro. I don't care what any of you guys say. For an NFL coach, that is freaking old. And I think, if I was going to make a wager on this, I think in terms of has the game passed him by, to me, it's 65-35. And I would bet that the game has passed him by. But the problem with that is like nobody's going to do anything about it. Clark Hunt's not going to do anything. Brett Veach isn't going to do anything. If Andy wants to be there, nobody's going to give a shit. Okay, well, here you go, Andy. So nobody's going to make that decision, that difficult decision, except for Andy Reid himself, which he's the guy that's got to look himself in the mirror and say, you know what? I think maybe the game hasn't passed me by, but I see a little bit of slippage here. I'm not the same guy that I used to be. And that's his decision. But if he wants what's best for the organization, that's up to him, bro. Maybe he has to step down and we get a younger guy in here.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think if the game is passing you by, if you're Andy Reid, that's where you bring in that fresh face into the organization to help develop schemes and game plans with you. Something that's a little more innovative than we've seen recently. And I think there's a possibility that Andy's gotten complacent in his ways over the last few years. And I don't know that means the game's passed him by more so than it keeps working year after year after year. You're in the AFC Championship game 7 years in a row. So in your mind, you're just like, well, I guess I got it figured out, don't I? I'm just a genius. And, at some point, the defenses in this league are so smart and athletic that you're going to get beaten at some point. At some point, it passes you by without you realizing it. At some point, your concepts don't work anymore.
I'm not going to be the guy that sits here and says, oh, well, he's 68 years old. He's too old. It's impossible for him to make the adjustment. I'm not going to be the guy that sits here and says that. Maybe he's fully capable of making adjustments next year, but I don't know that. I mean, he's the only guy that knows that. So,
well, it's got to be his call to admit the current state of where he's at with the team.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he has a lot of power with this team, and so he has to be the one to admit we do need that fresh face. He did it in the past. I mean, he did it 5-10 years ago, as a matter of fact, with bringing in, like I've said in previous episodes, with Brad Childress and Chris Alt. And so, I'd love to see something like that come back around again, but, someone who's younger and can bring in some new ideas to this team. So I think that would go a long way, especially in the run game, man. The running game concepts with this team are a disaster from the get-go. So it needs a complete makeover with the run game we have. So
yeah. It's a shame we have to talk about it this way because we're literally, I would say this year alone, probably 6 dropped balls of being actually executed that were dropped from not having this conversation. Plays were there. The scheme was there. The execution by the players, a.k.a. Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce.
This team, even if some of those balls were caught, this team still has a lot of flaws. And I just don't think it was going to work out in the end of this year. Even if they snuck into the playoffs, this team just has too many flaws this year. It wouldn't have worked out.
The sneak in part wouldn't have happened because it would have been already in the playoffs because of those plays, the execution. So, but again, you can drop that back down to coaching in a way. There's always ways to relate it back to coaching for that aspect. But I mean, I would hate to lose Andy Reid after one bad season and then just go backwards, go back to where we were 2012.
No, yeah, I'd be shocked if anything like that goes on this offseason, but
that'd be wild.
It won't be nearly as bad as 2012 anyway. I mean, at the end of the day, we're not working with Brady Quinn and Tyler Palco and stuff like that,
They pin a taco back, baby.
a little bit more food for thought before we move on. If you're worried about Andy Reid getting too old, we do have the option to bring back Dick Vermeil. He's still alive. He's only 89 years old. He was really good on offense. He's a great offensive coach.
How old is Al Saunders,
what do you guys think about just swapping him out and bringing back Dick Vermeil? He's still alive.
Al Saunders is 78, dude.
78. See?
Yeah.
See, that's the offense I want to bring back is that style, that Air Coryell style of offense. I liked it because it was a lot more vertical, honestly, and it was fun. I mean, it worked well with the team we had back then, and that was with average receivers. We had Eddie Kennison and Johnny Morton, Dante Hall, Mark Boerichter, obviously with Tony Gonzalez, but I think that style of offense was something I always enjoyed. It was that Air Coryell scheme. So I don't know. The West Coast offense, unfortunately, is sticking in KC, I believe, until Andy Reid's gone.
Dude, we can get Joe Gibbs back. Joe Gibbs, he can come Chiefs. Joe Gibbs. He's only 85.
About NASCAR, man. His son's a NASCAR driver and stuff. I don't think he cares about football anymore.
The only solution is to fire everybody and bring in the sports buffoons to coach the entire team. No. I think you get rid of everybody. I feel like me, Mike, and Tanner, I'm pretty sure I would be the defensive coordinator. I don't know who's going to be the OC. We could probably turn things around next year.
I think we should be throwing that out there
a long time ago.
Throwing it out there.
I think we could have fixed the Browns. We could have made the Browns better than they currently are.
We could have.
Like I truly believe that I could have done a better job as GM of the Browns than what they've put out there. Just as long as I'm involved in the process of the scouting and evaluation and organizing the roster.
We might actually be on the Bengals next year because Joe Burrow is getting ready to quit. So it might be up to me and you and Tanner to take over the Bengals next year.
He cleaned his comments up. He cleaned his comments up today. So
the Bengals' problem is ownership. Nobody wants to play for that team.
Nobody wants to play from. Was it Mike Brown or whoever the hell it is?
Brown. Yeah, nobody likes Mike Brown. So
we can fix it, dude. The sports buffoons can fix it. We can fix it.
You see, the Bengals got fined because they didn't clean the seats off, and they were only working. They only let half the staff work at the game too, so they had like half the
seats. Are you talking about? I know what you're talking about. They didn't clean the toilet seats, and there was like human feces all over the place.
Oh, that's fun.
Something like that. Is that what you're talking about?
On the dang seats, dude.
What kind of seats are you talking about? Toilet seats? Just spit it out, man. I'm tired of waiting on you, asshole. Just spit it out.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Jimmy.
The Bengals didn't clean the stadium seats of snow, which is a fine against them in the NFL. Okay?
No.
You're supposed to have those cleaned before the game starts.
So you had snow on the seats, and then people started doing number 2 in their seats.
And
it turned brown. Did it turn brown like the Cleveland Browns? Is that where you're?
And there were pictures at all the gates where they had half the gates closed because they didn't bring enough staff in to work the game. The lines were all the way out beyond the parking lot.
Every year, Buffalo has fans come out, and they help clear off the stadium. They ask their fans. Now, the problem might be the Bengals fans suck. So that might be part of the problem. Bengals fans are pretty trashy people. So
did you say that happened in Buffalo?
No, Buffalo every year, whenever it snows out there, at their current stadium that they've been in for a long time,
Cincinnati.
In Buffalo, they have the fans come out and they help clear off the snow of the seats.
But they pay the fans too. Yes, the Bengals won't pay the fans. Yeah, the Bengals don't do that crap.
That's too bad, man. Hey, you know what, man?
That's an ownership problem, man.
It's a bad year for the Bengals, so I feel sorry for them, man.
I don't feel sorry.
I feel sorry for them. That's too bad.
I don't. No, God, no.
Bengals are a team. I don't think I'll ever feel sorry for them. Don't care for it.
If we are sitting here making the case that the three of us should take over play calling for the Bengals, then we should care. We should care for them. Because I'm putting my job application out there right now, man.
I want to take over roster management. Is what I want to do.
Yes, I can. The three of us can jump in on that. The offer is there.
All right, guys. Well, do you have any other thoughts before we move on to the next thing here?
No, let's just talk about the game coming up.
Okay, let's not go real deep into this. Obviously, we're going to see some Gardner Minshew this week. Now, the thing I would just love to see the most is
Dreaming Christmas.
What's he doing over there?
Can you
Mustache Mania? Mustache Mania? Minshew Magic? Oh yeah, baby. That's
Well,
what
no,
I'm talking
okay.
You need to
about.
take a
Here's the thing.
timeout and go to
So,
the bathroom, Tanner. That's disgusting.
Rasheed
No,
Rice
I
is
don't
in
want to go there.
concussion protocol right now.
Yep.
So he's being
Same with
evaluated.
Taekwon.
If he misses this next game, which might not be a bad thing. Actually, I would be okay with this.
Well,
why?
Taekwon's also in it.
We're finally going to see Jalen Royals play some actual snaps in the NFL. And so, we took this guy in the 4th round earlier this year, hasn't seen the field. And, it's unfortunate because it's like, man, we needed somebody on this team to help open things up a bit and just try something new out there every once in a while. And anyways, it's going to be nice to at least see a 4th round pick, get some action. And I do think he's going to get some okay playing time in this one. Because they've also worked together quite a bit. You got to remember in preseason, Minshew, Royals working together with the second string and so on. And then as well, I hope we see a lot of Brashard Smith. I want to see him get legitimate carries out of the backfield that go up the middle. We can't just be doing these sweeps and this outside stuff with him every single time he touches the ball. It's just too predictable for other teams. And so I want to see, those kind of things go down. And then who else have we not seen this year hardly at all? Somebody else I'm blanking on at the moment. We've kind of been holding on to for whatever reason, but basically, guys. Yeah, I can't remember who I'm thinking of. Jared Wiley maybe is somebody we could see a little more of.
He's been playing.
Well,
get jacked, but he plays.
Barely. He needs a lot to work on, but basically, I just want to see a lot of the young guys go out there, treat this almost like a preseason game, an evaluation process of the current roster, and see who actually shows up. Just because you're out of it. I want to see
Xavier Bossa.
Yeah, Bossa. Thank you. I want to see him on the field on defense. But I want to see basically who shows up, who shows that they actually are hungry to go out there and win a football game and make plays. Because I don't want to see, just as an example, like an Xavier Worthy go out there, Hollywood Brown go out there, and you can just tell that they're kind of, bagging it in. They're basically just going out there, we're going through the motions in this situation. Because you as an evaluator of the team got to be thinking about this for next year. But who's a freaking dog out there? Or who's a pussycat? Like Hollywood Brown, So those are the things I want to look for, and I hope we get to see some playing time from Jeffrey Bossa and Jalen Royals and more Brashard Smith as an actual running back. So that's my thoughts.
I totally agree with you on the young guys. I totally want to see the young guys out there. The only time I want to see Xavier Worthy is playing Baccarat, because the last time I checked, he's actually a really good Baccarat player, and he can make a lot of money playing that game. But don't want to see him on the field. These are preseason games. The most important thing that I want to see right now is the Chiefs tanking and making sure that you're levering up here for your draft position for this upcoming year. That's all I care about. Yeah. Get him some reps, get Jalen Royals some reps, Brashard Smith, like you were saying. But outside of that, the only thing I care about right now is tanking for draft.
We need to lose 2 out of the next 3 games, at least. That's what I would look at.
I want to lose all 3 of them.
Well, if you can, that'd be great.
I want to lose all.
Other than what would suck is that our streak at Vegas at Allegiant Stadium would be over.
The problem is that you've got a general manager who may or may not know how to use those picks.
That is a scary thing.
At least you're giving him the chance. You're giving him a chance to give him a little bit higher pick there.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Tanner, what you got?
Screw that. I want to go see the Chiefs go freaking win the game. I want them to destroy the Titans.
Yeah, of course. Tanner, of course.
I do. I want to go see. I want to see some pride of finishing.
You know what, man? You don't actually believe that. I'm calling bullshit.
I do.
No,
I do, because the players believe it too. And
you're one of these guys. Let me tell you what Tanner is right now. Tanner is one of these guys like Stephen A. Smith that will state an opinion that he doesn't actually believe. He actually believes the opposite, but he's trying to just put some juice onto the podcast here so we can get some clicks, which I totally appreciate you for that. I think that would be fantastic.
He wants us to
if we could get some freaking clicks on this show.
He wants us to go 9-8 to finish the season, is what he's saying.
Yeah. Okay, man. Yeah, I get it, man. Yeah, just finish. I'm sorry. You know what, Tanner? I'm sorry. I'm not going to interrupt you anymore for the next 90 seconds. Speak your piece.
2014, we missed the playoffs. We were 9-7. I anticipate us. I think we should go 9-8, finish the year out strong, have some momentum going into next year. Like you want to talk about these younger guys. You don't want these younger guys getting used to losing, right? You need them to go out there and win. So Minshew needs to be there. I hope to see Jalen Rolls, right? Tyquan and Rice are in concussion protocol. I want Xavier to have 9 targets, 8 catches. I want Xavier to go off in this game here. You know, I want them to play like they're trying to win a game, which they will, because that's what players and coaches do. They don't tank like the fans want them to. And I want us to go out there and beat the Titans by 30. By 30. I want us to do some things. By the way, Gardner Minshew Magic, Mustache Mania is a Titan killer. He killed the Titans every time they played him when he was in Jacksonville. In Indianapolis. So I like where we sit here.
Okay. Well, maybe it'll be an interesting game. I mean, it is 2 bad teams. So that sometimes makes for a fun game when they're both bad. So that's the way I'm looking at it. To me, it's one of those things where, like, let's say the Chiefs do lose 2 out of the next 3 games. I want one of those wins to be against.
But you're talking about losing to the Titans and Raiders, man.
I'm okay losing the Titans. Losing the Titans would be a great thing.
No, it would not. This is
But if you can beat, I'm just saying, if we're gonna win one, make it the Raiders. Just make it the Raiders game, so that way we can.
No, I don't want to lose to lower teams in the totem pole.
I know you want to win every game.
No way.
I don't want to give up our draft pick, Tanner. Right now, we're picking 12th, I think.
Yeah,
and I would rather not give that up.
Dude. I don't care where we pick.
We get all the way to the top 10 if we keep losing.
I will tell you this. Tanner is actually. I can't stand to say this. Tanner is actually pulling me over to his side of the argument here.
I don't want to lose the lower people.
I don't trust. If we get the 12th pick, I don't trust Brett Veach to make that pick. I really don't. He might be better off picking later in the draft. So
we can trade up.
Tanner is starting to convince me. We are so bad.
You want pieces to trade up, right? You got pieces.
We're so bad that I think I want Tanner's argument. I don't want to go undefeated, but I want to at least win one game.
Well, that's been my argument, was to win one game.
I want to win.
I want to win 2 out of the last 3.
I want 1. I don't care about the Tanner wants 3.
I don't want to lose to the Titans, and I don't want to lose to the damn Raiders. Those are the 2 games I don't want to see us lose.
I don't want to lose to the Raiders.
As bad as
what makes this show is we all disagree on everything. So I do want.
That means you're losing to Kenny Pickett, dude. You want to lose to Kenny Pickett?
So you,
no,
Tanner, you want to win 3 games, which is mean.
I would love 3 games. I would love to finish the next 3 games as
Tanner loves the motto that we had going on a couple of years ago of "In Veach we trust." Tanner still believes.
No, I am not saying that. I am not saying.
Well, obviously you do. If you want to go 3-0,
I don't care about the draft pick. You can manipulate the draft picks. You can trade up. We got pieces. We got places to dump. It ain't a big deal. Okay. It ain't a big deal. It's overrated for where you're trying to get a draft pick spot if you're not in the top 10.
Let's go ahead and make game predictions then for this Chiefs-Titans matchup. So I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be interesting, but it's going to be sad at the same time. So, anyways, what do you guys? Who wants to go first for the game prediction score?
I'll go first. It's going to be 28-10.
28-10. I like that. I mean, it's possible. I could see it happening, but there'll be 4 touchdowns for the Gardner Minshew-led Chiefs. So we'll see.
I can see it.
I'm thinking it's going to be the over/under on this game was like 37.5, I believe, is what I've seen most recently. But I think it's going to be a game where we're looking at like a freaking. I think the Chiefs do win in this game. Actually, I think it's going to be like a 20-13 type of game. So put that for me, 20-13. The Chiefs get a win on that one.
Yeah, it is
3-point favorites. Yeah,
it is indeed 37.5. My tanking option that I've got going into this game is going to come into play. I think both teams are trying to tank. So I'm going to go to Tanner's point because he wants the Chiefs to win at all costs. I'm going to go 14-13 Chiefs final score.
Man, that'll be a freaking rough one to watch.
You guys are underestimating Gardner Minshew, man.
I said 20 points, man. 20 points is a good day for Gardner Minshew.
This ain't no Carson Wentz, guys. This ain't no.
He's better than Carson Wentz, I think. I'm not underestimating Gardner Minshew. I just know that how much this Chiefs offense can hurt themselves, and so for me, and there's no running game, by the way, so it's like you're kind of just running in circles. You're not going to get explosive plays necessarily. So, I mean, to me, it's going to be the under on this game.
It's going to be low scoring for sure. I might actually. I'm thinking about putting my life savings into this thing of.
Is that easy money bet coming up,
Tanner? Do you know what my life savings is worth these days? Is it 100,000? I should
$700 less than what you started.
I'm going to bet $100,000 on the under.
It's whatever it is. It's $700 less, is what Tanner said.
It's $700 less than what you started the night with.
Tanner,
that was Tanner's fault. Actually,
Tanner made some mistakes in the last 24 hours, but that's neither here nor there. My point is, I want to bet $100,000 on this game that it will hit the under 37.5.
Okay,
it'll hit over.
Guys, look, in that case, let's jump over to our final segment of the show.
Easy money bet of the week.
Easy money bets. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get a recap. Week 15 here coming into play. As always, we start with the bad, the worst of it all here, and we work our way up to the good. The worst here, JG, you won that award this week here. Bucks minus 4.5. Nope. Jets plus 13.5. I really thought you had a chance in this.
Bucks. I meant to say Milwaukee Bucks. Is that why I lost? Damn it.
Damn it, Baker.
We're going to pay more attention to the NBA later, so I'll fix it.
Jets plus 13.5 did not hit. Brady Cook ended up being announced, I think, on Friday. So that kind of was an unfortunate event there for you. So 0-2 there for JG. Next up for the worst here is myself. We had a 2-3 day, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Burrow over 266.5 passing yards did not hit. Apparently, he just had a bad mindset day. I don't know what that means in the NFL. Go hang out with Anthony.
Day. He had some mental.
Well, go hang out with Anthony Richardson. That's might be where he needs to hang out with. So, Hunter Henry over 40.5 receiving yards didn't happen. Cincy plus 2.5. They got blown out by Baltimore, for God's sakes. But Chase Brown over 74.5 rushing plus receiving yards hit on the dub. So look like I got something there out of the Cincy game. And then my Thursday pick outside of the NFL was Sengun over 31.5 points and rebounds, and he hit that just fine. So we were over on that one. So 2-3 day for myself, and then Mike, I believe, had a 2-0 week, a little bounce back from last week. Chargers plus 5.5 that hit, and Denver plus 2.5 hit. So nice little comeback after Micah Parsons got hurt for that team and continued on. So you're looking here going into week 16. JG 7-10. Mike is 12-15. I'm 15-23. The Buffoons are 34-48.
Man, that's a rough final record right there at the end, but we're doing this until the Super Bowl, man. So we still have a few weeks left to try to get to 500 at least. Let's figure out a way to turn this thing around. So, all right, Jason, you want to go first on this one?
Absolutely, man. I gotta get right back on the right path here. So I'm gonna give you guys one game this week. I'm gonna go with the Patriots Ravens here. Ravens are at home. They are -3. They are 7-7. They are the 9 seed right now in the AFC. Patriots are 11-3, playing very well this year. I mean, the Patriots have just been playing out of their freaking mind. Ravens, you would think, are just complete horseshit. Like you would think that the Ravens are basically the Chiefs this year. I think that they might be going down that road, but it's not going to happen this week. I think the Ravens are going to put up a fight here. They are 7-7. I do not believe that they're a 7-7 team. And I don't believe that the Patriots are an 11-3 team right now. So I'm going to take the Ravens -3. And the Ravens are going to win this game for sure. And I think they could have a much bigger spread than 3 points.
All right. Interesting pick there. Interesting pick for sure. There's a lot of fun matchups this week, you guys. I mean, it's looking at the whole list. I mean, we have Saturday football on the NFL going on finally now. So I think for the next 3 weeks in a row, we see Saturday games. Or actually, these next 2 weeks, we see Saturday games. And then the final week is all on Sunday, as far as I historically remember.
Yeah.
But I like the matchups, man. That Patriots one with the Ravens is great. 49ers and Colts is great. Steelers and Lions is going to be a great one. Jaguars and Broncos should be a good one. Then you even have some weird ones like Bucks and Panthers. You might not have thought would have been good earlier in the year. And the Chiefs are a noon kickoff. It's like the old days back in 2008, man. It's we're looking at rough times here. The Chiefs are the noon kickoff. Two bad teams against each other. So, anyways, I got a few different picks. I got 3 picks this week, as a matter of fact, and one of those is on Saturday night. As a matter of fact, I have the Packers and Bears, which right now is a pick 'em between this game right here. And, man, this is going to be close as hell. This game is going to be super close. And it's at Chicago. I actually have some faith in the Packers to get the job done and get the win over the Bears. And I know the Bears have played great. I know Ben Johnson's done a great job over there. But just a straight-up win. Packers over Bears is my first pick. Second pick, to me, the Buccaneers have had such a strange season this year, and a lot of it's had to do with injuries down, along the way. Mike Evans has missed a lot of the year. Chris Godwin, of course, is always injured. But right now, guys, the receivers on this team are healthy. So for me, looking at this Buccaneers and Panthers -3 for the Buccaneers, I love the Bucs in this situation right here. So I really think the Buccaneers are a much better team than the Panthers. So I'm going to take them, the Bucs, to cover that -3 on that game there. And I have one more for you guys here, going down to let me find it on my list here. Here it is, Broncos and Jaguars. And Trevor Lawrence, I don't know, did he have 6 touchdowns last week, Tanner? Total? Did people even realize what Trevor Lawrence did last week? That was insane. Well, kind of like I said last week in that Packers versus Broncos game. And the Packers were favored in that game, as a matter of fact. And I told you guys, it's the Broncos in Denver. They're in a rhythm. They're rolling. Great coaching's helping. Sean Payton's doing a good job. Bo Nix is playing okay. And really that defense is what's carrying them the most, I think. But I like the Broncos -3 as well in this game. And I like these -3 situations because that way, if the game comes down to literally a field goal to win and it's a tie, well, then that bet's a push. Then I'm not losing money on it. So for me, I like the Broncos -3 in that situation, just like I like the Bucs -3. So those are my 3 picks for this week. And if I can win at least 2 out of 3 of those, then we're still on the right trajectory going forward to finish off the year.
All right. Well, I got 5 for you. I got 5 again here.
We got 5 picks.
We're continuing to push here. Yes. Some of those games you mentioned, I got some props for that one as well. So I'm excited. We'll start here. Packers, Bears going at it. DeAndre Swift, rushing plus receiving prop of 70.5 rushing plus receiving yards is the line. Currently, this guy's hit this over 9 out of the last 13. And it's 4 out of the last 5. The only one he did not hit is in Pittsburgh. That's because Ben Johnson benched him for a fumble. So DeAndre Swift here, I love what he brings here. He's a big part of this offense. I don't think he gets benched even if he fumbles. He had 18 attempts rushing here, plus a couple reception last time here. And quite frankly, you're going against the Bears, and the Bears, what did you do last time? Or sorry, you going to Green Bay. You had 82 yards. So I anticipate him to be pretty similar here. It's a big part of this Bears offense. So we like the over of 70.5 rushing plus receiving yards for DeAndre Swift. Next up, we move over to Atlanta. Atlanta here going against Arizona at Arizona. Bijan Robinson, rushing plus receiving prop of 125.5. Yeah, that's a big number. They got jack for that team. It was Bijan's game last week here, going into play versus Tampa Bay at 175. He's hit this line 3 of the last 5 times here. And honestly, Arizona has been hit with injuries so much here. You're looking at attempts, though, for Bijan, 19, 20, 23, 23, 14, 17. He's getting the ball. The ball's in his hand. And the over for their Pacific line, right? So their specific line on the over against the Cardinals is 7 out of the last 10 lines have been on the over. So, and that includes guys such as Blake Corum with 131, Bucky Irving, 81, Travis Etienne, 116. So I like where it sits here. So we're taking the over of 125.5 rushing plus receiving for Bijan Robinson. Next up, Devon Achane, my man. I like this guy a lot here. 116.5 for
Achane.
Devon. Get the tables. Get the tables. They may not have Tua Tagovailoa playing, but I think this helps Devon even more here. 116.5 is rushing plus receiving yards here. He's hit this 4 of the last 5 times. Didn't hit against the Jets. That's okay. I'm not too concerned about this here. I believe here with Devon Achane here. I mean, you're going to get Cincy. Achane to me. I don't care what he is, as long as he hits this freaking prop.
Marcus Tuiasosopo.
Yeah, it's
Kingsley Suamataia.
That's too long for me.
Giannis.
You're going to get Cincinnati.
Kumpo.
Cincinnati stinks, guys. They're awful. They've also hit the last 7 over 10. Derrick Henry just was under his prop last week of 103.5. He had 100. James Cook was just under his of 115.5 at 111. 104, 81, 105, 198, 147, 158, 150. You're talking those names there. Derrick Henry, Trevion, Kenneth Gainwell, Kyle Monangai, Breece Hall, Jalen Warren, Josh Jacobs, all hitting those numbers here. I don't care if McDaniels himself goes out and plays quarterback here. Devon hits this freaking line. Give me the over of 116.5 rushing plus receiving yards for Achane on that one. And then finally, a great Thursday night game. Rams. Don't correct me. I'm gonna say call him what I want.
Do you watch the NFL, Tanner, from time to time? Do you know how to pronounce
time to time? There's a lot of college basketball on, dude. So time to time I do.
Ooh, okay. Touche. Never mind. That's all you pay attention to.
There's a great Thursday night game coming into play for tomorrow. Rams in Seattle. I mean, quite frankly, this could be for the 1 seed at this point.
Yeah, fun game coming up. Like I said, the whole week coming up of games is going to be awesome.
It's pretty good. Good matchups there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to them all.
So 92.5 is the rushing plus receiving yards for Puka Nacua. He's hit this also the last 4 out of the last 5. 9 out of the last 13 for the season. I mean, do I need to say more? I need to say more? It's Puka. Throwing the ball. Devontae Adams, game time decision. Possibly might play, may not. I don't really care. Quite frankly, Puka's going to get the ball. He's going to do his thing. I like the over on Puka of 92.5. Right? 92.5 rushing plus receiving yards. And then finally, because my final pick is always something not NFL related. Last week we had Sengun, and he hit the over just fine. We won that bet. The week before we had Robert Morris minus 1.5 against Green Bay, and they won and hit that bet. So this week we're going back to the NBA. And Jason, correct me on this one. Is it Asor Thompson?
You should probably just say Asar. I haven't done the proper enough. I haven't done the proper research on that name.
I have no idea. You guys.
I believe it's Asar, but
okay. So Asar Thompson points and rebounds prop is 15.5 going tomorrow against at Dallas against the Mavs here. 15.5. He's hit his line. This line here, 10 of the last 15 games. He did not hit it against Boston yesterday or 2 days ago. But that's fine. I mean, Boston's a tough one here. Anyways, he had 7 points, 6 rebounds here. We're looking here for him to get back to those good scoring range. And the over against the Mavericks for a forward has hit over 7 of the last 10 games. Laurie had 49, Michael Porter Jr. 38, Jabari Smith 30, Chet 23, Andrew Wiggins 17, Spencer Jones. I can go on and on there. That's just through December. I love this line here. I love what I see here for Thompson. I think he picks it back up here with that game break there with Boston. So looking at the over 15.5 points and rebounds for Ausar Thompson.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the pronunciation of NBA names prior to Christmas Day. You don't get docked for that, Tanner. Just
we've got time.
Say whatever. Yeah, just
got time.
You say whatever the hell you want. It doesn't matter until Christmas Day. NFL is a little bit. NFL is a different story. You screw that up. You screw the NFL up prior to Christmas Day. We're going to hold you accountable. But not so in the NBA.
Okay.
That does remind me.
Devon, get the tables.
Devon Dudley. All right. That reminds me now that we're kind of wrapping up the show. Next week we will be on Tuesday, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
Is when we're going to be doing the show, is because obviously we have Christmas Eve Wednesday next week, and then Christmas on Thursday. So Tuesday will be our show next week. We're hoping you can join us, Jason. I don't know what you got going on, but
I'm the one that organized it. I hope the two of you show up.
Well, I'm planning on being at my own place, so I think I'll be here. But we will be doing some activities beforehand, Tanner. So
play pickleball beforehand, man. Pickleball.
Yeah, we're gonna play pickleball. So, but we'll be done by 6:15.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then so that's the plan, man. Doing a Tuesday show for a change, and
it might be time for an NBA topic at that point.
I'm not going to hold you guys.
Probably has to be,
guys. For the whole year, all the years we've done this show, I've always told you guys I don't want to hear crap about the NBA until the new year, basically, right? Until
There's
January.
Still a lot of NFL topics to talk about.
Well, yeah, there's going to be lots. But now that the Chiefs are out of the playoffs, and this is primarily a Kansas City-based show, primarily, then I'm going to give you guys the free pass this year to talk about the NBA more during the wrapping up of the NFL season. So. I'll allow it. I'll allow this one. So, but this is probably the only year you get to have it. I'll be shocked if the Chiefs find themselves in this spot again next year. If that happens, if we're back right here a year from now in the same spot, then Andy Reid's fired and we're starting all the way over.
At
basically.
That point, the NBA is your favorite sport of all time. At that, because you won't have anywhere else to turn.
I watched a lot of NBA last year, and man. The product, it was bad. It was a bad product in a lot of ways. The defense especially was ugly, man. It was so bad, and it was just an annoying product. I'm most excited right now about the future of the Royals, and so I know us as the group, for many reasons, are excited about the Royals. So I'm thinking about the NFL draft, free agency, and then pitchers and catchers, man. Thinking about pitchers and catchers for the Royals and what that looks like here.
A little bit too
training.
early.
No, I know it is. I'm just saying that's on my mind, man. NBA is such an afterthought because it's too long of a season, and I'll pay attention sometime in March. I'll watch games obviously, but I'll pay attention sometime later.
You just focus on Devin Booker, and we'll take care of the rest. That's all you got to do, man.
Yeah, I'll do my best. So. But, all right, guys. Any final words before we get out of here?
His name is John Cena.
Oh gosh.
Why?
What is he doing?
He's drunk.
I'm sick of DK, dude. DK is such an awful sportsman.
Well, I lost John Cena and Patrick Mahomes on the same weekend. And so that was a pretty rough way for my weekend to go. Was those two guys?
It was definitely a rough.
Cena did lose in his final match, and then Mahomes.
Was it rigged? Was that John Cena rigged? Do you think? Or
no, it's real, man. It's definitely.
I know the Chiefs. the Chiefs season was rigged, but I wasn't sure about the John Cena match.
No, I think the Cena match is real, but the NFL is rigged.
That's too bad.
So
what kind of BS is this? Why is DK not allowing me to bet a Green Bay Packers game that starts in 2 days?
What the hell is he talking about?
He's just rambling.
Starts in 2 days. And the only prop I can freaking bet on DK is longest rushing yard.
All right, guys. We will see you next Tuesday, and we'll come back and give you an update on Easy Money Picks. Hopefully you guys make some money. I made $180 this past weekend. I want you guys to do the same this coming weekend, starting tomorrow, as a matter of fact. So with all that said, then I will see you guys on the next one.
Outro.
Means Tanner's got to press the button.